Marvel Rivals is a superhero team-based PvP shooter where Disney adults can play as their favorite Marvel superheroes. Apparently, this game is pretty good. Apparently, people like it, and by the Steam charts, that is a lot of people playing as of basically right now. It's got very positive reviews on Steam, and I've heard good things via word of mouth, but we're not here for this. You guys know what we're here for, so let's get on with it. General Scavo starts a new thread titled Unrealistic Women. The women in this game are very unrealistic, fake overblown proportions. Maybe make them resemble real women? The way they are now feels utterly perverted. I want to play as some of the women characters, but they really need to be dialed back and stop the stripper clothes and simp aesthetics. Thanks. Moza Rixilla writes, they just look like muscular women. Look up lean beef patty. It's not unrealistic. Makes sense that superheroes do strength training. Squid Beats writes, I guess Concord is more your type. Crazy Wallet writes, sex sells, get used to it. Or you could go play Concord by yourself. Fentanyl Prime writes, wait until you see how they are portrayed in the actual comics. I'd also like to note that although this game is free to play, so it doesn't really count, almost every single person, if not every single person in this thread owns the game. There's not one single name I've seen so far without a mouse icon next to it. Big Uns writes, the nanosecond this game does that, 99% of its player base will disappear. So good luck convincing them. People like fantastical women and men. Get over it. This game is working because it's simple, fun, and doesn't annoy us with the morality/fun police. Too bad. Oh noes! People are having fun. Go ruin a Sony game or something. Nobody cares about those anymore. Kit Stargazer writes, I see people that look like them all the time. You need to come out of your room and experience the real world, I think. It's funny too because I never see anyone complain about how guys look in game. Like Hulk or Venom, which their body types if possible are super difficult to achieve and maintain. I for one am happy that both male and female body types like this are present in this game, and that's all that really matters after all. Dree.ka writes, why every time I see this kind of comment, it's always coming from a guy? You clearly don't like or don't understand women. These are from comics created decades ago, but you think they should change and dial back for you? As a woman, I want to play with physically attractive characters. I don't want to play as an unhealthy or ugly character. I don't want superheroes to look like Karen from the Hood. They are meant to be amazing, fit, and strong. Like Minnie already said, it seems Concord would be more your style, but I heard they didn't do very well. My perspective is slightly skewed. Go back to the Steam charts. I see this number. It's like hits me in the face. I'm used to seeing triple digits, and all of a sudden now I'm seeing 6 digits. I don't even know what to do with my hands. Rin writes, man expects super women to be obese. Slay queen! Kilford Brimley writes, stop falling for obvious bait, you clowns. The Rizzler replies to that and says, brain dead. Jibril writes, Venom is caked up, so the females should be as well. Don't want sexism, lol. Fajig741 writes, are half of these threads just tee-hee, gotcha attempts? Oh, Fajig741. He'll figure it out eventually. Mr. Death writes, then go play Concord, ... Oh wait, JRWWP writes, keep it to yourself. These discussions bring absolutely nothing of value. I disagree. Mercury writes, I see girls like Luna every day. Many are just small petite girls. Squirrel Girl is nice and thick, filling in for May's sexy self. A few girls are just the rare girls you see with a nice body. I see girls like that at the gym all the time. I definitely don't see what you see, if anything. We don't see this many fit men. Most of these dudes are ripped, low body fat, lean guys with symmetrical face structures. And I would have to concur. Squirrel Girl is nice and thick, just the way I like them. Swedish Meatballs writes, unrealistic women. Bro, have you seen the guys in this game? Mr. Smellies writes, play as Squirrel Girl. A lot of love for Squirrel Girl in here. Super Knight writes, no. The age of woke is over. The age of the based has come. Oh, Zach writes, stop farming gesture rewards. Yeah, he did get 7 of them though, so not for nothing. Nerthy writes, thank God. I see enough real women every day through my cell window. I was looking for some unrealistic women. Shaka When the Walls Fell writes, cry about it, then go play Concord. He then double posts and writes, also, this is a funny way of telling everyone you're a slob who has never seen the inside of a gym. him. Cowland Enjoyer 27, familiar name, writes, Concord derangement syndrome is so sad to see. Weiratar writes, that's Marvel Comics for you, unfortunately. If you open almost any comic book drawn even today, women look like this in the pages. Or actually even worse, skimpy clothes or even no clothes now and then. Or clothes like you are in a strip club. There's even been artists who use prawn as a reference material for drawing women. And this artist is still being hired to drawn today. So it's not NetEase really. It's a problem at the source, and I guess because historically it was thought that only boys read comics. Nep writes, the women in this game are very unrealistic. I demand Susan Storm to be more visible. Casino writes, only 3 clowns? You need to work on your farming skills, son. Phantom Limb replies, no, people here are actually getting smarter and do not provide clowns to every rage bait thread anymore. Nobody tell him. Symbolic Jedi writes, I like the rage bait. Melon Lord writes, y'all are so easily baited. ISTG lol. I don't know what this Zoomer acronym is, so we're moving on. Depraved Miscreant writes, why is everyone glossing over the hips on Squirrel Girl? Them thighs crack nuts. Easy Burrow Boy writes, I don't care. Give me caked up women. Arborman Wamp, who had his post deleted, writes, do you need a 300-pounder so the women in your family too can feel represented? I'm guessing that was deleted and he was subsequently banned. Caspi starts a new thread titled Too Many Bigots Here. He was given around 60 awards for this. 50? I don't know, I'm not gonna count them. He writes, some of the comments I've seen on this forum look like they're straight out of Mein Kampf. Why is Steam doing nothing to remove these sorts of posts? But I receive a warning for being too hostile to them? Edit, seems I've been proven right. We literally have people denying the Holocaust and saying Nazis were, quote, naturally right. Psycha writes, yeah, it's kinda crazy. Just report them and block them. Don't reply and feed, and definitely don't buy them awards. Caspi writes, I've actually received quite a few awards from people in this community by arguing with them, which gives me hope. They definitely seem like a vocal minority in this community. A lot of them seem to also be in the SBI detected group, which makes sense. Misery loves company, as they say. Zenithone writes, hard agree. Why is a large portion of this community already just a complete cesspool of hatred? I love video games, but a lot of gamers are the absolute scum of the earth. It pains me to know that people like this exist. Caspi writes, there was an account with an SSPFP in a bio akin to Mein Kampf spouting such hatred. There were also 2 so-called center-left people who were also spreading the same sort of Nazi hate. Aristotle replies, says, only bigots? You forgot Nazi, alt-right, istophobic, and many more. Id, a bunch of numbers, familiar name, replies in earnest. Caspi, the OP, replies to Id and says, calling liberalism a left-wing ideology also gave you away as a right-wing freak. We'll say that Caspi and all his posts, he's getting plenty of clowns for his efforts. He is out here putting the work in, earning those Steam points. The Art of Science replies to the OP and says it's like flat earthers but for the social sciences. Caspi, the OP, replies to that and says science. Now there's another thing they don't like. Loken replies to it and says critical thinking LeMayo tried doing some. T-Bill, who was banned, writes, why would the nationalist Socialist German Workers' Party care about this game and homosexuals when migrants are free to Aloha Snack Bar all over Berlin? Can somebody update me on the Germany lore? I will give you a wholesome award. Requiem King writes, sadly, this is normal. It's disgusting. Moon Punisher with the Abaddon profile picture, shout out. He writes, good. It means it's a good forums if lefties are complaining. Bye. Leave. Caspi, the OP, writes, who must leave? I don't think this OP is trolling. I think he's genuine because he is posting a lot and either he's very committed to the bit or he is posting in earnest, and I'm gonna go with the latter. Oh God. Loken, we mentioned Starship Troopers. Someone give this man a media literacy award. Sergeant Poultry writes, are these comments in the room with us now? Johnny replies to Loken and says, sorry man, I'm too busy being a happy bigot or whatever. XD. Vermilion Squad writes, Limfow, nice troll post. Go clown somewhere else. You're not even worth a Steam award. Stop wasting our time. Well, two things, Vermilion Squad. First of all, he is worth a Steam award. In fact, he's worth about 50 to 60 of them. Second, I'm not sure he's a troll. Pose Law is at play once again. Jesse writes, that's why this game is popular. It wasn't made for left side. Don't like it? Don't play it. Lost writes, go outside, lib. The Rizzler writes, enjoy your woke meltdown. Teddy Roosevelt replying to the Rizzler writes, define woke? Oh no, please don't. Please nobody actually try and do that. Paco writes, the Steam forums are a great place because it's only the angriest, unhealthiest people of any games community just screaming at the top of their lungs at each other, and I get to look at it. Well, actually, historically, a lot of people that do this are not actually owners of the game. They're just here to get in on the memes. You have the gaming community, the people that actually play the game, and then you have the people that post in the Steam forums. And there's oftentimes very little, if any, overlap. But for this game specifically, since it's free to play, everybody owns it. Everybody has a mouse icon, so we can't play that game anymore. Not for this specific game. Once we get into a game that you have to actually buy, then you can really see it. Solutions writes, I disagree with OP, therefore they are a bigot. All right, I think I'm about done with this thread. I think we get the point. Jarvis, I need more Steam points by Sundowner. Again, I'm not convinced. I'm full on Pose Law for this OP. Anyway, we're moving on. Next thread, Dummy Hearts starts a new thread titled, does this game have trans representation? I'd like to play this game, but I have no interest in it if it's doing nothing to support the trans community. After the games I used to play, TF2, Overwatch 2, got infested by bigots and made them unplayable. I was hoping to find a more progressive / safe video game community. Athena writes, there's a mute function. Every game is save because you're in your room playing your game. Jeez Louise. People fought and died so that this generation could whine about mean words on the internet. Stinky Stonko writes, it's safe. Zero, trying the tried and true tactic of just asking directly for gestures, and unfortunately it didn't work. Kit Stargazer writes, last I checked, Chinese generally don't because it gets it banned in their country. Whenever a movie is made over here with it, they always cut those parts out for the Chinese audience so that they can get their sweet, sweet monies over there. I seem to remember some Star Wars promotional material that was different in China than it was in the West. Yes, very progressive Disney, by the way. Jeez. Lil Catmeat writes, ah ha 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 ha, what a loser. Go to CSGO. Better there, bro. Fluffy writes, yes, Hulk trans from man into Hulk, and he got a lot of awards for that. Heisei Hunuksu writes, play Concord. Alright, haha. Man, people just love dunking on Concord. That was, what, that was 5 months ago now? 4 or 5 months ago? Still fresh in everybody's minds. I think Concord might have staying power, guys. I think it might be the one. XTC Sniper 21 writes, OMG, stop with this hearts in game apostrophe S. Who cares? 4 question marks. No, early. It's a heart game. Who cares? Trans, etc. ... Johnny writes, you fell for the bait, buddy. That guy with the Bill Gates profile picture writes something that I'm not gonna read. Dragonlight writes, Scarlet Witch can trans anyone into non-binary with her ultimate. So yes, it's safe. Run towards the marker. Solutions writes, lol, the 5% asking for the world to conform to them. Yay. I think it's a little under 5%. Siren writes, you would love drag age gender guard. The other 30 million of us like our women as women and smoking hot. Dummy the OP replies to that and says, oh, you're one of the anti-woke bros. Okay, cringe. Mon writes, Venom is non-binary if that's your thing. Squidbeats writes, you were looking for a safe space about a video game made by a Chinese company on a forum made by Steam, a private company? Go back to Reddit. Damn, I fell for the bait. Another Concord mentioned. Another one. Dick, you can't go anywhere without seeing people dunk on Concord. Like anybody even remotely progressive. First comment every single time, go back to Concord. Oh wait, old reliable, good pop writes, why can't we enjoy a nice game without pandering to the sick and twisted perverts? This is a game, not Sodom and Gomorrah. Yakult Japa writes, unfortunate ally, game community is a bigot. There is space in games for queer group, but isn't on a popular front store Steam games. Is on niche games where need search to find. It sucks. But until gamers put a big boy pants to face that is a problem, nothing will change. Feel like that's a Google Translate post. I wonder where this guy's from. The MLP profile picture does not give it away. Mr. Smellies starts a new thread titled International Women's Day. Let's start planning already. We only have until the 8th of March. On that day, me and other womanists are planning to all hop on our favorite female characters and meet up in the kitchen of Doctor Strange's mansion map. Let's make this one to remember. You got 2 awards for that. Well done, sir. Nice little story you got there. Puppy Girl first reply writes, give me the clown reacts instead, and they did not. Burgers and Beer starts a new thread titled, please add a censor setting for bear skin. The characters in this game look very attractive, don't get me wrong, but it's a little over the top, don't you think? It kind of gives me the ick when I see the bare skin of some of these characters. My proposition is simple. Please add a toggleable setting that gives some specific characters a cloak to wear, so not as much of their bare skin is revealed. Lunar Fang replies to the OP and writes, I guess you get a Woody when you see the Hulk because he's shirtless all match. Roman numeral 9 starts a new thread titled Need Build the Wall. Mega no China. First reply is Snot, says try Groot. Alvin Artichoke, who was banned, got 3 clowns, and has a Pudge profile picture. Starts a new thread titled got called the N-word in a match today. Why are we just accepting this and not perma-banning istophobic people in this game? It's ridiculous. I am a father of 3 and my children love Marvel, but I can't imagine letting them play this game when every game is filled with istophobiasm and hateful content. Add an option to mute players and insta-permaban them on report. That's a classic Dota 2 player. Wanting somebody to be permabanned the moment they report them. Feeding down mid? Get them out of here. Parent-child bull writes, you can turn off voice and text chat. Well, turning off voice and text chat doesn't get me Steam points. So, Clop54 writes, welcome to the internet. Yeah, this post right here, if it's earnest, which I have my doubts. I have very strong doubts that this is an earnest post. This is very strong. I've never been in a Modern Warfare 2 lobby energy being given out by this poster. You guys think Alvin Artichoke has ever been in a Modern Warfare 2 lobby? I doubt it. McNugget420 writes, y'all defending this heinous behavior is hilarious. They probably the ones dropping N-bombs. Rack writes, bigots love to spread hatred. It makes them happy to cause suffering and pain. Juturna writes, I think if you can't handle a little istophobism from time to time and just move on, then the internet might not be for you. Guy replies to the OP and writes, holy macaroni. I am so sorry you had to go through this, OP. I got secondhand PTSD just reading your experience. This is unacceptable that Steam lets things like this happen in 2025. Pers Kane writes, I love being toxic. Dead Rattermy writes, and OP got banned LeMayo. He's probably trolling in another post. He hasn't really posted anything in here that would get him banned, but I don't know, man. Janny's got a hair trigger. Rex959 writes, damn, I don't know. Turn off your PC or something. Dark Lord Chuckles writes, this thread is in general istophobic as hell. Edgy children all around, whether you're an adult or not. Nerthy writes, you wanted freedom of speech? You got it. You can thank your new president. Joey Central starts a new thread titled, most high-ranked players are bad at the game. They are all players who are just carried by good aim. Carried by good aim, yes. But outside of having good aim and good situational awareness, they are bad. Terrible cooldown rotation, management, ults, positioning, etc. Some don't even know what peeling is. Now, I'm not gonna pretend to be a great player. I am still in bronze, but I have the knowledge of someone in Grandmaster or higher since I study these terms and know them from a theoretical level. So when I hear a high-ranked player not know what any of these terms are, I just assume they are scrubs carried by good aim and mechanical skill. I feel this game needs to reward those with knowledge more and stop rewarding players with a rank they don't deserve just because they have good mechanical skill. Oh boy. First reply Fly Garu writes, can I get the Clown Awards instead? Tim A writes, play a melee character. Joey Central writes, I lack mechanical skill and that is because I am 30 years old. You can't do well in a game like this at that age, but I have knowledge that I am accumulating for when I open up my coaching services. Here we have the duality of man on display. Solutions writes, great post, 10 out of 10. Right underneath that, Oni Lyrics writes, bad bait is bad. I actually enjoyed this. I thought this was pretty funny. Dev Jonathan starts a new thread titled, yet another woke game. And he was given about 69, 70 awards for this. Well done. He writes, I'm tired. Why is there so much representation in politics in this game? Remove DEI and politics from our video games. We are all tired of this woke poison. You are all sheep if you support this game. Kitsune Magic writes, you sound like the sheep to me. Probably a Fox News watcher. Ray writes, just say you're a bigot and move on. Icarus writes, OP the type of guy that wakes up like this. Absolute toxic loser who can't do anything but start some shit like this. Pathetic human. Linux Gooner writes, don't play, we don't want your kind to play it. Thanks. Yanoxa writes, cry about it. That's what he's doing. Get debunked, Yanoxa. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya writes, cool. Woke is a positive word. Like calling someone a nerd, ... Okay, cool. Thanks for the compliment. Vampliana writes, nurse, they've escaped again. Kyle Thuzad writes, jump in a wood chipper, whiny baby. iVoltex writes, stop being cringe and farming for points. This is the saddest post I've ever seen. Vexel Prime writes, please go cry into a ditch, you waste of oxygen. Pape writes, OP, don't expect too much from these brainwashed people. BlackRock is their god. Happens, they don't know it yet. Kyle Thuzad replies to Pape and says, mirror. Jaquan Don writes, don't worry, Daddy Trump and Elon will end wokeness and make gaming great again. The OP acknowledging his bait is working pretty well. Overlord Byron writes, I've literally never gone on a Steam forum after the year 2018 where some Hearts Forever Virgin wasn't complaining about the woke. Gert writes, how do you navigate life by finding the worst out of every little thing? Have fun and just ignore it, dude. If you can't do that, you might as well start taking estrogen pills. Blue Raz writes, damn, dude really got all of you, lol, sheesh. Chancy Boy 20,002 writes, why I seeing so much rage bait these days? I did nothing wrong. Many named writes, Chuds. Silverant writes, bait. How are people actually falling for this? You can see the bait from a mile away with both eyes closed. Depression Slut writes, LeMayo, because progressive society equals based. Vreeks writes, stop using word woke. You don't even know meaning of this word. Well, Vreeks, could you be so kind as to define that word for me? Please don't. That was a joke. Nova Mew writes, bait. Report and move on, people. OP's literally admitted to it. Dev Jonathan, the OP, replies to that and says, good to know that expressing my opinion is now trolling. Snoot Lord Supreme writes, I'm sorry you saw a black person in a video game and threw a tantrum about it like a child. Dev Jonathan, the OP, replies to that with a question mark. Harry Proper starts a new thread titled, why is doing Overwatch so much better? Imagine playing a game with zero balancing, a crazy cheating problem, a toxic player base, and high number of bots. Overwatch got millions of players daily on console, plus Battle.net and Marvel Rivals already dropped like 50%. Marvel Rivals versus Overwatch is the equivalent to Apex Legends versus Fortnite. First reply is Jones. He writes, okay, I'm not even gonna try with this name, but L starts a new thread titled, you people need to touch some grass. Every thread on this forum is some political bullshit. Wow, the game is woke. Wow, there are alt-right losers in the forum. Wow, they are typing mean words. Wow, they are istophobic. I speak 4 languages and I find it hard to think of the proper words to express how brain dead you people are. No one is here to conform to your ideals. Be it right, be it left. Block and ignore if you can't handle reading triggering words and continue surrounding yourself with your yes men echo chamber that will validate your every garbage take. It's surreal to think that someone willingly exposes themselves to political slop videos and lives their life hyper-analyzing political messages where there aren't any. Leave the normal folk that developed critical thinking to enjoy the game. Toon4 writes, they get rewarded Steam points by people giving them clown awards, and they can use these Steam points to increase their Steam level. The OP replies, so they are broke too? LeMayo. Operation SB with a new thread titled, Unrealistic Body Expectations. I'm so sick of seeing men drool over characters with these over-sexualized designs. Good luck finding a woman like Invisible Girl. Every female character in this game looks like a supermodel. Is it too much to ask for a character with realistic proportions? What has gone wrong with the world frowny face? Yaksa, first reply, bad bait. Udana writes, bait used to be more believable. Toothless Orthopedic writes, what about Squirrel Girl? Hey, you can't leave Squirrel Girl hanging. Come on, Operation SB, if you're just gonna list all the attractive female characters, where's she at? Well, you don't like Squirrel Girl? That guy writes, maybe cut back on the 5 times a day McDonald's and you wouldn't be having such an issue measuring up. Here it is. All Reliable by Kylix writes, you can always go play Concord ... Oh wait, he's now blessed this thread with the Concord line. Master Tits replies, is this seriously posted from someone who put over 400 hours into Nekopara? What is that? Oh boy, I'm scared to look this up. I'm guessing this is an anime dating simulator. Oh yeah. Oh boy. Yep, here you go. I'm pretty sure this means cat person in Japanese. That means cat in Japanese. So, and you got the anime waifus wearing the cat ears. So yes, overwhelmingly positive reviews though. 22,000 reviews. Dear Lord. And so just for reference, the OP has sunk 400 hours into this game. All right, now that we've got that established, Ferreria JC87 writes, literally all the women in my family are on par with these women, including my almost 60-year-old mother. It's called diet and exercise. Fluffy replies to that, you can't say those words around here. You'll scare the Americans. Dragon Light writes, you'll be jealous when the apocalypse comes and everyone turns to cannibalism. USA will survive the longest with its extra ham bones. Oh, I didn't even catch it. Somebody, Drake and Lord, pointed this out. OP has a picture of an anime waifu as his profile picture. That was so on the nose that I didn't even see it. Siren says the line about Concord. Shaky writes, bait post, go away, fatty. Borko starts a new thread titled, why is the vast majority of the community of a certain political party? No, really, what's going on here? I see tons of these mega anti-DEI, anti-woke, anti-LGHDTV, hateful people here. You all know who I mean. It starts with a C and ends with an E. Can't escape it. Anytime someone disagrees with someone else, it's because they're woke or left. Someone complains about balance and they get stop whining with your woke weak mindset in response. Anyone that starts complaining about wokeness or hating on LGHD TV out of absolutely nowhere is given tons of awards. What is it about Marvel that pulls all these people here? Crazy Wallet, first reply, this is just bait to start an argument. Propagandolf writes, what starts with a C and ends with an E? Not baiting, I actually want to know. Solutions writes, pretty sure it's cope, as in this dude sucks at the game, so it must be istophobic. Jade writes, I'll play your game. This game sucks so bad it went up by 100,000 players. Mr. Smellies, say the line, Bart.
Say the line, Bart.
Terrain writes, how are you people dumb enough to fall for this? Mr. Smellies replies to Propagandolf. He says he's referencing the recent dead hero shooter Concord with an E after the D. John Helldiver replies to Terrain. He writes, they aren't. It's trolls trolling trolls trolling trolls and everyone thinks they are being clever. Sammy MF Bananas writes, you love it. Ziatic writes an enormous wall of text that I'm not gonna read. Jade writes, honestly, this game should be studied. This isn't a mega game or a right-wing game at all. It's just a game that isn't trying to cater to anyone or be overly inclusive to any one thing. And it has 600,000 players, meaning it's gotten to a point in this industry that just being normal has made people think something is mega. Fiend starts a new thread titled, please add pronouns and LGHD TV plus flags and lack of diversity issue. This is a game. Everyone who wants to play this game should feel represented. The best way to do that is to add different characters. Unattractive character version would be nice. I'm not telling Marvel to change the character, but they can add like Endgame Thor as a skin to represent obesed people. But since that's time consuming, we can look for another solution for now. And how will we do do that? How will we make people feel safe and represented? Pronouns and LGHD TV flags, of course. Give people option to use them. Show your love and respect to all people. It's 2025. All games should have those options by default. That's matter for modern audience. And this option will not affect anyone who doesn't want to use them. It will be there for only people who wants to have them. Chippy writes, based. Midoi writes, I seriously don't get the award farmers. You can put this effort into trading Steam cards and make money to buy more games. Either way, another easy block added to my collection. Rev Henty writes, nope, go play Overwatch for that crap. This is Kanye West writes, either you're not a real human being or this is engagement bait. No, it couldn't be. I'm Lost writes, damn, another bot match. Mr. E writes, no, but Overwatch is looking for players. Have fun. Nihil writes, how are people still falling so badly for these clown farm baits? Dane writes, my pronouns are please no. Rospec writes, you had your wish with Concord. Why did you not show up for that? Caspi, the first OP, the OP of the first thread I found, writes, based. I don't think he's trolling, guys. I think he's legit. Because usually when we see this, when we see an OP from a previous thread post in another thread as a replier, usually it gives it away, but I don't know. Pose law and all that. Billy Hatcher writes, we don't want politics. Even China don't want it. Caspi writes, to be fair, pride flags and pronouns aren't political. Not in the slightest. And he was given a clown for that on page 5. Mysterion X writes, run-of-the-mill award Steam points farming. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Caspi accuses a poster of being a Nazi and in the very next post denies the existence of Israel. Uncle Tom says the line. Donald Trump starts a new thread titled, Game Needs More Diversity and Inclusion. This game needs to be more diverse and inclusive. No mention or any sight of a single LGHD TV, QIA plus character anywhere. What a shame. I wanted to play this game too. Phantom Limb replies no. Also no clowns. The OP replies to that and says, yup, another gifter. That's why you've got a clown award on your profile. Ha 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 ha. Lizzie posts a link to buy a game called Touch Some Grass, and it's $2. The OP replies to that, projection at its finest, get a job immediately. Dandelion starts a new thread titled, My Girlfriend Sends Her Thanks for Feeling Represented as the Invisible Woman. Prayer hands. Thank you, devs. Purra writes, you should read through r/girl gamers sometime. That place is a comedy goldmine. It might actually be the worst place on the internet. And remember, 4chan exists. And I know what you're thinking, and the answer is no. Melon Lord writes, I feel like people are so caught up in their woke/anti-woke brain rot that they miss the joke, lol. Pirate Beard writes, I'm a tank main. WTF is a girlfriend. Tutu starts a new thread titled, How come this Deadlock ripoff has 80% positive reviews? Hello, an Icelandic trans girl here, name redacted. I go by Shy/Z, and this is my objective opinion on this atrocious game. And then writes a wall of text that I'm not gonna read. Private Parts writes a weird way to farm awards. Nox and Furnace writes still mad about Concord? Major Jace writes award bait, don't fall for it. Well, the OP replies to that and says Concord didn't fail because of queer representation, chud. Posts a link to The Guardian and then a second link to an IGN article. Right-wingers just pushed a narrative Concord failed cause go woke, go broke meme that has nothing to do with reality and is entirely rooted in bigotry and bias. Well, that's my best guess to why you're even mentioning it here. Bye bye bye. Directly asks for gestures and is given some. New community message. Posts a reply accusing Marvel Rivals of using engagement optimized matchmaking and being bot data mining. Spider Clone 7 quoting the OP saying that that Shy/Zay refunded the game, and he writes, but it's free. Fiddy writes, I honestly can't tell if this is pure bait or you're actually like this. I salute you, sir. Excuse me, it's Zay? Bigot? Get it right. Nero the Angel writes, don't you mean she, they, and not Shy Zay? The OP replies, neo pronouns. An Arabic name writes, oh no, Deadlock sisters on shambles. rivals. Glock writes brilliant profile. Oh, dare I? I don't really want to. No, I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to do it. All right, last thread, then we're done here. Jonah the Black writes lack of female players? Transitioning from Valorant, and I notice a lack of female companions on my team especially. Does this game just not interest them or something? I am physically fit and relatively strong for my weight group, 110 kilograms. My interests include watching anime and listening to K-pop. New Jeans Heart. Feel free to add me in game. My name is Heh. Preferably no whales. And bonus point if you're an Asian e-girl or blonde snow bunny. Thanks. And I think that's where I'm gonna see myself out. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys are enjoying playing Marvel Rivals as your favorite Marvel TM superheroes. Hopefully this made your commute to work go by a little quicker, and hopefully you have a good rest of your day. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.